of the Pythagorean theorem. This theorem is one of the most fundamental principles in geometry, and it has applications that stretch far beyond the classroom. Prepare to be amazed. So what's the Pythagorean theorem all about? Picture a right-angled triangle. This is a triangle where one of the angles is exactly 90 degrees. You have two shorter sides, which we call the legs of the triangle, called legs, and the longest side, which is opposite the right angle, known as the hypotenuse. The hypotenuse is always the longest side in a right-angled triangle. The theorem states that the square of the hypotenuse is equal to the sum of the squares of the other two sides. This means that if you take each leg, square their lengths, and add those squares together, the result will be the square of the hypotenuse. In simpler terms, a2 plus b2 equals sine c2. This equation is the heart of the Pythagorean theorem. Now let's break it down with an example. Imagine a right triangle with legs of 3 and 4 units. Square those numbers. 32 is 9 and 42 is 16. These are the squares of the lengths of the legs. 32 is 9 and 42 is 16. Now, let's add these squares together. Add them together and you get 25. This sum represents the square of the hypotenuse. The hypotenuse in this case would be the square root of 25, which is 5. Magic, right? This simple calculation shows the power of the Pythagorean theorem, which is 5. Magic, right? But this isn't just a neat trick. But why should you care? Why is this theorem so important? Well, the Pythagorean theorem isn't just for math class, it's a tool that has real-world applications. It's used in architecture, computer graphics, and even in navigation. Architects use it to design buildings and ensure their structures are sound. Computer graphics designers use it to create realistic images and animations. In navigation, next time you use a GPS, remember that the Pythagorean theorem is at work helping to calculate the shortest path between 2 points. You see a right triangle, you'll know there's a bit of mathematical magic at work. This theorem is a perfect example of how math can be both beautiful and practical. You'll know there's a bit of mathematical magic at work. So next time you encounter a right triangle, take a moment to appreciate the elegance of the Pythagorean theorem. So go on, impress your mates with your newfound math wizardry. Cheers. And remember, math is not just about numbers. It's about understanding the world around us with your newfound math wizardry. Cheers.